So what do we have on tap today?
It's the Casey Show.
Are we gonna? Yeah, it's the Casey Show. Nice.
Welcome to Editor.
Welcome to Editor. A little melancholy today, huh?
I mean, we've both already done full days of work.
Yeah.
We both independently worked on productions. I was working on some CMAC projects, multiple live streams. There's actually one happening right now, but I didn't need to be at that one. But
nice. 2
live streams this morning. You were capturing some stuff for a client, and I sent Brandon with you because I couldn't be with you.
Yeah, and Brandon was awesome. He's been filling in for us so many times, and I really appreciate it. It's really, really kind of him.
Yeah.
And he got a lot of great feedback from the show last week.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So what's the fun updates? What did people say about last week's show? With the fifth
even
Beatle?
in the archive, like he got some good press. We'll just be on our run of shouting out Linus. Linus really liked the episode.
Oh,
Linus is always very honest about the episodes, and I like that.
Yeah,
at least honest about his take. Yeah,
that's what we need.
We need the honesty, exactly. And then we have. We got some. Yeah, we actually in terms of views and everything like that, and downloads and stuff, it's actually one of our more popular episodes. I think Brandon, we get the handsome boost.
He does. He does bring the handsome to the show.
He brought the handsome to the show. So.
It's not us.
Well, I mean, you look at me. I'm even though I have this cool shirt on, it's like
the hoodie's nice.
Yeah,
it's finally cooling off in the Central Valley, and we could be back. The second episode back in the studio.
Yeah, it's nice.
I wore a hoodie most of today. I took it off for the show. I don't know. We'll see. I might put it back on.
Yeah.
But yeah, you told me, you were like, I want to do a show. I want to do an episode about Casey Neistat. What made you want to talk about the vlog father? My
journey with Casey Neistat started when you sent me a Van Neistat link. Everybody knows who Casey Neistat is, but I had very little experience with him.
I'd seen his iPod battery video. I'd seen his bike lanes video. And then in 2015, it was actually my manager when I was working at Square. I'm wearing one of my Square shirts. He was like, Kyle, you make videos and you like running around and doing stuff. You need to watch this video of this guy, Casey, riding a snowboard through New York City.
Yep.
And that's what got me to subscribe. And I've been enjoying his videos ever since.
So Van Neistat is, for those who don't know, he's becoming more popular, but he's Casey Neistat's brother. Yeah. And just kind of a little bit of a history as I know it with Casey and Van. Kind of their first big break. They worked for an artist prior to this, and Casey, if you've ever watched any of his talks, has he goes on about his backstory, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But effectively, they work for an artist, Tom Sachs, and they worked for him a while, and then they ended up getting a break to do something from another person, that was related to that whole endeavor.
As careers go.
Yeah, I mean, that's why you get up and keep moving, And they ended up, long story short, they ended up getting a show on HBO called The Neistat Brothers. And effectively, that was like the genesis of vlogging. Now, Casey, and we'll get into my knowledge of him shortly, like the depth and breadth of it, but
I've got a quiz for you.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
You told me to. I put it together.
Right. I didn't know if you actually did your homework.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. I'm impressed.
I might have done it earlier today.
Nice.
During some downtime.
That's all right. That's all right. I'm wearing the ATP shirt. If you know the ATP theme song, it's all about doing the homework. But yeah, so they got the show on HBO, and it was really like the foundation of vlogging. But Casey had actually, and Van had they've been making videos their whole lives, effectively.
Yeah.
Using the cheapest possible point and shoot cameras, anything they possibly could. They had a 16 millimeter camera at one point. And then Casey, and Van famously, there's actually conflicting versions of the story, but that's what happens when you tell a backstory. You tend to refine it over time. Yeah. But so whether they maxed out their credit cards and or used their tax refunds, they both bought iMac DVs, which was the first to allow you to edit video natively.
Firewire, baby.
Over Firewire. And that was kind of the no turning back story for them. And basically, what fascinated me about kind of like when you sent me Van's new videos, he has a series called The Spirited Man, which is being ripped off up and down YouTube now. I immediately watched the first video and I was like, holy shit, this is something that's like right out of my head.
Yeah, I was like, Gilbert, you need to watch this.
And I'm not trying to give myself that kind of credit because he's doing the work first of all, and second of all, which is literally tattooed on Casey's arm. But he's doing it, and also like I would have a very different approach to it, but I have a lot of the same sensibilities and a lot of the same
process of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I would probably be really interested in hanging out with Van. And so I immediately did not want to watch any more of his videos.
Yeah,
and we'll
you were like, I love it. I'm never going to watch it anymore.
I'm never going to watch it again.
I was like, why?
And it gets to my thinking of like, I really try to avoid stuff, and we can get into the why in a bit, but like I really try to avoid stuff that I feel like is going to heavily influence me. And I also voraciously kind of study the things that I feel like influence others. And I'm one of these people that really, really dives into stuff heavily and deeply. So you and I are very good friends. We're business partners of a sort. And, literally, actually, we own a company together.
Yeah.
And we have a show, which I, really enjoy doing. And it's become kind of it's become a process for us. And even if we don't have listeners, we never really gave a shit. It's more about us kind of just doing it and learning, and it's been fun. It's actually been a lot of fun. I think we've grown a lot over the arc of the show.
Yeah.
And one of the things you took up this year, and I didn't put it in the show notes, but I kind of like thought we can kind of do a little bit of a retrospective on kind of like what you're going through with your Loose Ends vlog.
Yeah.
And I noticed, like, I kept saying this thing early on when you were doing the show, and I kept saying to you stuff like, it seems like you really understand the language of YouTube, the language of this. I want to say media, but also the platform, yes, but also the process, like the language of that particular method of portraying yourself, right? So vlogging is not something everybody can do,
sure.
And then vlogging frequently is definitely not something everybody can do. So I didn't watch Van's stuff. But I wanted to understand you more specifically and like what the fuck motivates this guy and where is he getting this language from? So what I did was I watched every single Casey Neistat video, every single talk.
Really? Wow.
Every single...
Because he has...
It's 1060 was where the YouTube playlist maxes out, but he has like close to 1100 videos.
Yeah.
Watched all of them, every single one of them. I watched all of the Neistat brothers, which was awesome, by the way. I really loved it. I watched it twice, actually.
I wanted to watch it before this. I just didn't have time to... Yeah. Is it on HBO Max still?
No, it's not on HBO. I wasn't able to find it. I have a playlist. I'll send you that.
All right.
I did delete my playlist that I made. It was called All Casey Neistat's Videos. It was gargantuan. It took me forever to make. You had to manually make it because there's no way to bulk it.
Did you watch it at like 2 times speed?
Very occasionally. The reason why I couldn't necessarily do that with Casey is because a lot of his stuff is so musically oriented.
Yeah.
And it's that's such an important beat in his, and rhythm in his videos. And that's something I resonate with dramatically. Like it's very, very important to me in the way I do stuff, but like, and even not even close to that level. And I think, I grew to really, so just taking a step back, like my perspective on Casey Neistat was very, very flawed. Like it was the perspective on, it was my kind of like my asshole pretentious perspective on YouTube.
You saw a couple of vlogs and you're like, I understand what he's doing.
Well, it's not even that. People would send me links of his, and I would actually often, like, usually the most links I've ever gotten from anybody that have anything to do with Casey Neistat were from you.
Sure.
I think you sent me one was like where he interviewed Mr. Beast, which you had sent me that, I had already watched it.
Oh, okay.
I didn't let on because I didn't want you to know I was engaged in this project yet.
Oh, okay. So this goes back to when we were like,
literally after the Van Neistat.
Okay.
It was like I'm not going to watch any Van Neistat, but I want to understand his brother. So I literally watched 1,500 YouTube videos.
Yeah.
In the course of that period of time. We can look it up. It's got to be no more than 6 months that it took me to do it. But wow. Yeah, I had stopped listening to podcasts. I stopped listening to audiobooks. I was telling the guys like in the Marchive, like in different versions of the Marchive, like my reading this year has been really low comparatively.
Yeah.
And since it's rebounded, since I've,
finished that project.
Yeah. Cause that was gargantuan. And it was like, and even, and here's how I know there's something special about Casey Neistat, and it's something that I see in you as well. But like, even as I was watching this stuff, my kids would be engaged. My wife would be engaged.
Yeah.
Elise is my wife. It's her name. And she what? What's wrong with you?
The running joke.
What running joke? But and
she's running.
And,
right
and they found it really, really engaging. And like I paid attention. Mm-hmm. And then Elise, you know, we talked a little bit about my wife today in good spirits, of course, and it was nice. And she really, really loves Candice.
Lauren also like
she and Elise loves Lauren. So I could see it's like this triangle. She's like, I could totally be Candice's friend. Like they agree. Like I love that she just speaks her fucking mind. She doesn't care. You know.
Lauren sent me one of Casey's tweets because I think Casey and Candice are on a road trip right now.
Right.
And it was like
from New York, yeah.
Or no, it's like Candice's birthday, and they're going from LA. They went through Las Vegas. They're in Arizona as of this recording, but it was like Casey was driving and they were going through a Starbucks drive-through, and Candice is like leaning over him to tell the order, and the caption was like, she says whenever I order it wrong. And that was Lauren like, yes, perfect. I feel this.
Yeah. And then, you know, I know we're going to talk about it a little bit later. We'll talk about more about the trajectory, but they did do a podcast and we'll get to that in a bit. But I want to go back. Like, so they did. Well, go ahead.
I want to do my quiz because I feel
you want to jump into it?
I feel like we'll end up talking about some of the stuff that's in my quiz. So just rapid fire quiz.
Let's do it. Let's try.
What was the name of Casey's first viral video? We talked about it just
it was the
ago.
iPod. So a lot of people think Bike Lanes was his first one, but he actually, before YouTube was even invented, he had the iPod video.
Yeah, do you remember its name?
It was like Apple. Oh man, this is a good question. Oh wait, hold on.
Oh,
it had Apple in it.
No. You ready?
Wait, no, hold on. I really want to try.
I've got like 8 questions.
No, it's okay.
We can rapid fire.
It was
these.
along the lines. No, I can't remember. It was along the lines of like, why do batteries need to, throw it away or something like that?
It was iPod's dirty secret.
Oh, iPod's dirty secret. Yes.
He already had a good viral naming system.
Yes.
Again, before YouTube. That was 2003.
And it was a great video. He went all over New York City and he posted up all these, bills.
The iPod bills were already up, and he spray painted
over them with a stencil.
The battery will die after 1 year.
Yeah, he used a stencil and spray painted over them, and basically this went viral. It was even on the news. He got on the fucking the literal news to talk about it, and it was like, it launched this whole discussion about planned obsolescence.
Yep,
and it was amazing. This was
right to repair,
literally before YouTube was created.
Yeah, 2003,
which is amazing. All right, what's the next one?
Next one.
I'm 0 for 1.
What year did the Neistat Brothers show air on HBO?
2006, 2003. I was around there.
I was surprised.
2010? It's 2010, yeah.
2010. I was surprised about this. YouTube had already been around.
Right.
For a few years, but they still sold the show to HBO.
Thank you for letting me get like 8 guesses.
It's fun. It's all good. It's fun. I like that you're like watching you go through the process of figuring it out.
Well, because 2003 and 2006 were other milestones, but 2010 was the show, yeah.
2010 was the show. I believe it was like practically recorded in 2008.
A little bit. There's some footage. He has tons of old footage in it, though.
Right, exactly.
So yeah. Practically, like you said, like with the intent.
But it actually released 2010. I didn't realize it was so late, so recent.
Right. And in that show, he actually briefly has another girlfriend. It's very interesting.
Ooh.
Yeah. Her name's Martina. It's weird.
Question 2.5. How much did HBO pay for?
It was like 1.4 million or something like that.
That's possibly right. The number I found was 2 million.
Yeah, because
that might be rounding up.
Okay, so I actually did look this up because and I know that there was there was NDA type stuff that faded and all that. But I looked at press back in the day and I saw stuff from 1.4, 1.7, 2.2 million, and 2.1 million.
Yeah,
were all the numbers that I heard. But it helped them out a lot.
Yeah,
helped them out a lot.
You're living in New York City, and
these are great questions. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm like I have 0.5 points.
Yeah. You
give me like 9 guesses on the one I got.
or how many subscribers does Casey have on YouTube as of today?
Ooh, good question. Okay, so this is interesting because I remember his video when every time he hit a big milestone, like 1 million, he made a video and the balloons and stuff like that. But like, he would talk about how 1 million was way easier than 100,000 and how 100,000 was way easier.
Snowball effect.
Yeah. And then by the time he did his 10 million video, it was like an afterthought video. That
He's
kind of
like,
stuff.
Hey, I'm here.
But then I was like, I remember looking it up not too long ago, and I was surprised that like he didn't have more considering his fame. But his fame wasn't really about subscribers. It was about, or even after a while, or even like being a mass media type person. Like he became even niche unto himself, but he was like the YouTuber's YouTuber.
Yeah.
And even for YouTube, the corporation, but I'm going to say 12.5 million, 12.
Yeah. 12.4 million.
Really?
12.4.
Wow. I pulled that out of my ass.
That's great. What about Van? You just said you haven't watched a lot of Van.
Shit. That's tough.
I think okay.
So Van's okay. So I've only watched the first video of the Spirited Man, but I've been watching his channel.
You just kind of
I saw like how his there's things that I'm paying attention to.
Are you using like TubeBuddy or something?
No,
like
I'm not using any analytics or any like sites that draw analytics from the API or whatever, or try to anyway.
Right.
It's not really public, but he started off with a lot of views because he got that Casey push.
Casey made a video like, here's,
I know my brother Van.
I'm not making a lot of videos right now, but here's my brother Van. He's starting his YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And he had a big push right at the beginning.
And then his views started declining heavily. And I know that he reached out to Casey and asked why. And then and then you always look at the thumbnails. And I saw his thumbnails started getting more and more spammy.
Yeah.
And, more and more of that typical YouTuber reaction video type stuff. And then, more and more titles and his view counts tanked comparatively. And, but he's got a very strong core following.
Yeah.
But I think the last time I looked, he had like 175,000 subscribers. What is it now?
423,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's significantly higher. So that's good. That's still an amazing achievement.
Yeah.
So,
we talked about.
You always say rapid fire, and I always talk for like 8 minutes a question.
It's still fast for us.
Yeah.
So we talked about Casey did daily vlogging for about a year and a half. Do you remember when it started? I know you probably had a playlist. Does he talk about like what the date is?
So
he would put the date.
It started with Beme because he already had about 400,000 subscribers, and he founded the vlog for Beme. I want to say, so it would have been like 2015-ish, 2014, 2015-ish. How close am I?
March 2015.
March 2015. And then that was the first vlog. And he's like, I'm doing it daily. And he basically, right up front, I have a reason that I'm doing this, and it's to talk about this business.
Yeah. Which
would end up being quite fascinating how that played out.
Right. So, let me jump to another question because this is a good one. How did the Beme app work?
Yeah, so the Beme app was, I didn't know this. Also he was ahead of the curve, but also behind the curve with Beme. It was kind of really interesting. But Beme, basically, the whole idea was you create, but you don't want to look at the screen.
Yeah.
And because you're not looking at the screen, you're still engaged. Linus actually wrote a big thing about this, like about how people are like looking at their phones and they're actually not engaged with the world. So how do you create content
but still being engaged?
While still being engaged. And actually, like, for example, like I took a lot of videos during, like all the various concerts that we're going to, and I will hold up my phone and I don't give a shit what the framing is. And I will try to pay attention to the concert while passively holding up my phone because I still want to be in that moment, but I also still have really enjoyed like capturing those clips.
Yeah.
So the way Beme worked is you would put it against your chest or cover the proximity sensor on the phone, and the original interpretation was put it on your chest, but people came up with all kinds of cool ways of doing it. You put it on your chest and the back camera, and once it senses that it's like covering, the proximity
You're not
sensor.
looking at the screen and it's covered.
It starts a video, and then you don't have any engagement with it whatsoever. It literally posts automatically once you're done.
Yep.
So at least that was the original interpretation. I don't know how the app played out after time. Were you on Beme?
I was.
I was not, obviously. I didn't even know it existed.
I really enjoyed Beme.
Did you?
Yeah, it was very short-lived. I think it would be successful today. I think if like even if it was just like Instagram or Snapchat was just like stories now have a, don't look at the screen mode.
Right.
And you could make it happen. You could push the volume button and not look at the screen and do all of your stories that way. But it was fun. Also, its reply feature was cool.
Tell me about it. I don't know anything about it.
So, Instagram, if you post something, a picture, a video in the feed or in your story, people can tap on the screen and type something. And they could take a picture and send a reply. Beme, if you were watching someone's video and you were digging it and you tap the screen, it would immediately take a picture with the front-facing camera and send it to
he did talk about that. And it's fantastic because you could see their literal reaction.
Yeah.
And it would actually come up and show many of them after a while. It was really cool, like a parade of reactions, like literal,
it would just
real
be boom, 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 boom,
people.
boom. Here's all the reactions to your video.
That's right.
It was great.
I didn't think of that as a reply, more of like a thumb, like a
picture
engagement
reaction
of some sort. Yeah. Interesting.
How much did CNN spend on Beme?
I forget. It was around that same like $2 million ish, wasn't it?
No,
wait. He talked about it on Steve-O's thing. It was like $10 million.
It's $25 million. No, that didn't go directly to.
Yeah, and he didn't say, so that number. The reason why I'm saying the original number because he actually said the number ish on Steve-O.
The NDA is
when
expired. Yeah.
But nobody actually confirmed that number. And
That's
originally the press was saying 10 million.
Yeah.
But yeah, it came out that it was over 20 to 25 million. Yeah. So he did really well. But basically it was an acqui-hire. It was a talent hire.
It was. And they made the Beme News thing.
Yeah.
And it was a solid YouTube channel.
And I was surprised to see Jake from Vsauce.
Yeah.
Not Veritasium, but Vsauce. Yeah. He was like, he had Vsauce 3 or 2.
Yeah, 2.
Not 2. 2 was the other guy. But yeah, he had Vsauce 3 and he helped run it. And yeah, they got Red cameras. Do you remember that? Yeah. I bet you were all excited about that.
It's like, dang. They're really making it. But I was sad the app was gone at that point.
Yeah. They didn't have to do it. And they still, the Beme News channel still exists. It's still on there. It just doesn't do anything.
Yeah, it's not active.
And then it's weird how that played out. We'll get to that in a bit.
I would say if you liked Beme News on YouTube, it's fun take on, or it's young take on news. I would say MTV's Impact is,
I thought you were going to say something like the Vice or something like that, because that's really what they were going for. But Vice really has gotten hardcore, though.
Vice has gotten weird. MTV's Impact is a great YouTube channel.
Never seen it.
That's not just sharing the news, but doing some analysis on it and keeping it pretty factual. But the stuff that like young folks kind of care about.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay, moving on from
a lot of numbers ones. All right, good. Yeah.
No.
Keep going.
Actually, I should put this one earlier. We talked about bike lanes.
Mm-hmm.
What year did bike lanes come out?
Ooh, bike lanes was that on YouTube? I actually don't. I mean, it is on YouTube.
It is on YouTube as of today.
But I want to say like, I don't know, 2011. I'm guessing.
Boom. 2011.
All I'm going by. I don't even know. I'm guessing. I'm going by the timeline of when these things happened.
Yeah.
That's the best I could do.
So
bike lanes I literally have done stuff like that in my life.
I like that Casey and the cop that gave him the ticket are kind of like when they run into each other, they're like, hey.
Yeah. So for those that don't know, I mean, I didn't know. So like, I feel like it's fair to say like, maybe people my age, like the geriatric millennials, that maybe missed it. But bike lanes was powerful. It was extremely powerful. Like it was a video where Casey just. It starts with him getting a ticket for riding in a bike lane. Not riding in a bike lane.
Yeah, he got a $50 ticket for not riding in the bike lane.
And he was not riding in the bike lane. And then it goes to a DJ. He's literally on the radio talking about it. And then there's a lawyer talking about this is that was not okay, because like if you're in a bike lane, even today legally, if there's an obstruction, you can avoid it.
Yes.
You have the same rights as somebody on the road, even in New York City. Although that's quite a bit different now.
State to state, it's different.
So, but and even city to city, because like bike laws in cities, and you deal with Sharrows and stuff like that.
Check out
your PSAs.
The Bicycle Pedestrian Advisory Committee's new PSAs on CMAC's YouTube channel.
So, as in sort of retaliation or to point out the issue, Casey Neistat rides a bicycle while someone's filming him, van actually, and purposely runs into things, cabs,
all the different things that are in the bike lane.
That are things that are blocking the bike lane. He runs into them and crashes. Like, he commits to it. He completely eats shit every single time he does it.
It's a full, like, Charlie Chaplin,
Fully.
or
Buster Keaton. Yeah, for sure.
Like, slapstick.
Buster Keaton is actually somebody he admired deeply.
Yeah.
He does a video about Buster Keaton, actually, somewhere in the vlog. But he completely commits to crashing into these things, and at the end, he actually crashes into a cop car, even, which was fucking because a cop was blocking the bike lane. And the video, of course, exploded, went viral. He got on the news again over it, and because it was like, it was again very powerful, and he was very good at telling those little stories. He also, just like his whole
trains going by,
and also our garage doors open this time. So.
Just keep it, letting some fresh air.
I'm liking it. I'm liking the birds and the trains. But yeah, I mean, his whole thing, he was very, very good at telling very succinct, very quick stories, and his editing style is very interesting to me. And
it's still acquaintance Preston at Press Reset. He does his little Twitter threads. He's like, Casey's not doing anything new. It's all the basics of storytelling. Casey is still following, if you went to a screenwriting class, it's hitting all of the things, all of the questions, the setup, the payoff.
And actually, so is your vlog. So are you. You have a cohesive theme in it. I mean, and you have a thing where you cut to a new vlog, like, in it now, because you're condensing them. But
I'm just too busy to edit.
And
daily.
So that is a little bit jarring, but it's functional, and it's fine. But even Casey said repeatedly, I mean, he literally has a video like how to vlog like Casey Neistat, and then there are tons of people that made parody videos of him, and Sara Dietschy. I didn't realize that's how she got her start, but he really liked her parody video of him. But that was like one of the things that made her popular.
And now she's
very popular.
Peachy.
But yeah, so, and he said the same thing. Like, he's like, I'm not doing anything. He literally says, I'm not doing anything new. Like, I'm basically, this is just storytelling.
It's just in a new place.
And story first. And then, his whole thing about, being whatever camera's on you, use the best camera you can, to the extent that it's available. But if it's not, whatever's on you is going to help you push the story. And he is very powerful. Bike Lanes is still hold up today.
It's a great
as a
video.
Phenomenal video.
Yeah. I watch it here and then.
Great music too.
Just to check it out. How long was Casey in New York City?
Ooh. Well, he got there a little bit after before September 11, famously. And then he left, last year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, something like that. So do the math, 18 years or so.
Whoa, 18 years. Yeah. One last question. And maybe a 0.5 to this one. How many episodes of Couples Therapy did Casey and Candice do their podcast?
We listened to it, my wife and I, because it was hilarious. We listened to it on a lot of drives, and I want to say we listened to at least 20 episodes, but I really don't remember.
Yeah,
it wasn't that many.
It's technically 20 in the podcast listing, but the first one is like the 30-second promo.
Exactly. Yeah.
So technically 19, but
and it's because they did it on Stitcher or whatever, and they had or whatever Anchor.
That was my second question. What podcast platform did they host it on?
Yeah.
It was Anchor.
So they were doing a lot of new Anchor stuff in the podcast, which is fucking hilarious. I love Candice. Like, I love her. She's great.
Yeah.
And I think she's. I even tried to get some of her permanent jewelry.
Yeah,
I couldn't get it because I used to wear a chain around my neck when I was a teenager that was locked with a lock that someone else had the key to. So I literally had to get it cut off my neck.
Lauren was like, "What if we did permanent jewelry at our wedding reception?" And I was like,
"I want it."
I was like, "Look up how much it would cost.
Let's make it happen."
You
need the guy with the welding machine, the special welding.
We looked into it. It was going to cost thousands of dollars, thousands of dollars.
It's so awesome though.
But it would have been cool to all right, who wants a bracelet forever?
Like at 368 and during many of Candice's businesses stuff. they had a guy come, and they also did like random tattoos, like put your arm effectively in a glory hole for tattoos
and get a tattoo.
I would totally do it. You know I would. It's not even a question.
I'm laughing because I know it's true.
I'd stick it in right now.
Yeah, I thought it was a cool idea, but there's no one local, so we'd have to bring someone in.
Yeah, the closest was Los Angeles, and then Austin was a popular venue for them, and then of course New York City is still doing it, and then it's super popular in Europe. I found out.
Oh,
yeah, because I tried to the last time I went to Los Angeles, I tried to get it done, but I couldn't find anybody in time. There's a gal who does it, but you need to set up an appointment and all that. She's like near.
Like, lady, this is
Pacific
the thing
Palisades.
We do on a whim. This isn't a make an appointment kind of thing.
Yeah. So no, but whatever, it's fine.
Well, Lauren and also really enjoyed the podcast. We listened to that.
Great for a couple to listen to. I really think it's great.
I wish they could keep it up. I'm sure like Anchor asked them to do X amount of episodes, and they did it, and it's over
and
now,
they were testing a whole bunch of stuff. Like they had the call-in stuff, and it was
all the features,
all the embedded ads after a while, which you can actually listen to it without those if you know where to look. But and it's just a really good show. Like again, it's Candice, like, and they didn't give a shit. They showed up. Sometimes there are a couple episodes where they fucking literally go at each other. They're serious.
It gets a little hairy.
They're not messing around.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, we loved it, at least and I. Yeah,
I really I enjoy their candidness between each other, both in the podcast, but also like Casey's done multiple vlogs, like My Girlfriend Candice, and
A Love Letter, and all that, all those famous videos,
telling stories, and it seems like their relationship, had been off and on and off and on, and now they're sticking through it. So, there's a lot of, not only are they keeping it real, but it's like they've gone through all the real stuff that it seems like a lot of couples do. So.
And they continue to.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the things on the notes is like what he moved to California. And I think that was one of the big motivations. Well, he clearly said it, unless he's full of shit, which I don't get that opinion from him, of him. He seems pretty on the level, but they struggled. He was working a ton. I mean, he literally had this.
Her family lived in California.
Yeah, then the parents actually had they used to live in Houston. That's where she's from. Mm-hmm. And they had a major flood, and their house was destroyed. So they decided to move to California. So that was like the last straw. Yeah. She's originally from South Africa, which she makes fun of him because he loves to tell everybody that she's originally from South Africa. And they go there every year. Dan Mace actually has a very popular YouTube channel.
Yeah.
He just over the years, Casey had many sidekicks that he would go through.
Dan was one of Casey's sidekicks.
He was probably the last one. Yeah, technically the last one.
But he lives. He's from South Africa. I think he's back there now. I know
he did. He moved. He lived with Casey for a while when they did 368 and all that stuff. And he launched so Casey has had a few different vlogs, like official vlog shows. One of which was 368,
and then starting the 368.
Right, and then sort of ending 368 and then starting this kind of like randomness that he's doing now, which is technically vlogging and technically a different series, but I don't know, whatever. But in 368, it's a whole weird thing, but he was on the right track, I think, but he was trying to create an incubator for creators and he got a lot of interest in it, and I think a lot of people took him seriously. And so, for example, like one of the things that fascinated me about 368 was the episode where Will Smith was there. Yeah. And the reason why is because I felt like Will Smith he felt like he was becoming irrelevant. And I know that sounds weird hearing that about Will Smith. I'm talking about the reasoning behind
the cultural.
Yes. Yeah. And so like I just read a piece in I think Rolling Stone or something where like Mick Jagger went into a bar and like fucking drank beers and nobody recognized him. Mick Jagger, right? Yeah. And and he left and everything and nobody even knew. But so I'm not saying that was happening to Will Smith, but Will Smith has always been at the forefront of these things.
Yeah, and you can't be a Hollywood leading man forever. And rather than like transitioning into roles that were, and I would say he kind of did. He did that Pursuit of Happiness movie, but
and then
he started a YouTube channel.
Yes.
Will Smith became a YouTuber.
Will Smith became a YouTuber. And I think what happened with Casey and why I called him the YouTuber is because it wasn't really about subscribers to him, even though it didn't matter. Like he eventually didn't care. And of course it helps. It gets you in the door for sure.
Yeah.
But for him, he became kind of a consultant. And obviously he did a lot of talks. They're all kind of repetitive, but he's kind of telling his backstory and kind of refining it. And if you watch them in succession, you can see what I mean by
he's refining it.
The little refinements over years. So that's actually really fascinating. And also the vlog itself. I don't think very many people in history have watched them all like straight. And there are people in the comments. If you look at the comments for the vlogs,
there's some recent.
They're recent. They're like, who's here during the pandemic rewatching all of Casey's videos? And I was like, okay, I feel you, man. Because this is the height of it. It was perfect time to watch all this stuff. But like, for example, he helped launch Carly Kloss's vlog. He worked with Sean Duras and then even stuff. I forgot that guy's name. Starts with an S. The handsome dude. That was a Snapchatter. Sam
Sheffer?
No, not Sam Sheffer. Sam Sheffer was one of the sidekicks that actually end up being like having. This is gonna sound terrible. But having some self-respect. Like he was a Casey Neistat sidekick that still did his own thing, and wasn't like attached. Like when there was like a skateboard review, he would bring him in or stuff like that. Yeah. And then he eventually took over the studio.
Yeah, he's in half of the original Casey studio.
Right.
And he used to be a video producer for The Verge. Right.
And he has a pretty good YouTube channel. I mean, I don't watch any really YouTube much at all. I'm completely like after Casey Neistat, like I stopped watching YouTube.
His like how I'm using the iPhone 13 cameras just over the last month.
Didn't even know he did that.
Is just like, I'm going to give you a tour of my favorite spots of New York City, and I'm going to film it with my iPhone 13. Great. And it was excellent. Yeah,
that's cool. Like, I mean, I like his content stuff. I think the last Sam Sheffer video I watched was like when Boosted died.
Yeah,
and I think I maybe watched one or two besides that.
Yeah,
but yeah, so him and it starts super handsome French guy. I think starts with an S. God, what the hell is his name? He's a Snapchatter. So he's vegan. He's super healthy. He's in several episodes.
I guess I got to go back and do the Casey rewatch.
People who know Casey are yelling right now. And he would get recognized more than Casey. Which is funny because at the end of the video, it's going back to Will Smith and talking about like Casey being like kind of like a consultant for these people like Carly Kloss and all that stuff. Like at the end of the Will Smith video, they walk out and Will Smith gets into a car and the kids wanted Casey's autograph.
I know. I remember that.
You could tell like, okay, the world is changing. Right. And like
old guard.
And I felt very much on that, like going into this, I was very much of that perspective, and definitely watching his videos, like opened my eyes. Like usually when people complain about things, and I'm definitely in that category. I complain about things all the fucking time.
We made a whole show for it.
Yeah, we literally made a show for it. Usually when people complain about things, I find, and maybe I'm wrong, and maybe some further wisdom will enlighten me further, but it's usually our own hangups.
Sure.
It's our own, we can't get out of our box. We can't look at something from a different perspective. And even stuff that's like blatantly bad or stuff that we disagree with or stuff that we can't hear without being upset or what have you. Those things tend to be really, really difficult for, this is going to sound weird coming from me, but for building empathy, right? Yeah. Like if you can't get out of that mold, it's very, very difficult to have any common ground with anyone.
Yeah. You're mad at these people because they do the thing that you wish you did better.
And so like, while I look at all of Casey's old thumbnails and I realize like he's like the guy who like created a lot of this
viral
That guy's going to sit there for a long time.
This truck?
Yeah, because he's like parking.
We're going to have a lot of truck.
But I looked at his thumbnails and stuff like that, and he really is the guy that started all the bullshit. Like of the stupid thumbnails and all that. We're going to stop for a sec. Hold on. Let's let him finish. But what I was going to say is like Casey, I feel like he started a lot of that the kind of the bullshit trend and all that stuff of like the clickbait thumbnails and the literally holding up a sign that says this is not clickbait.
I will say though, clickbait thumbnails have been around since the start of YouTube, back when it was the perfect middle frame of the video, and someone put whatever video, and then they just flash one frame of some boobs in a bikini or something. Those have been around forever, but I think Yeah, it may have been Casey who started the, like, I can leverage this.
He normalized it. I don't think it was that he started necessarily, but I think he really normalized it. He gave it credibility.
Yeah.
Because people were making fun of it all the time. The word clickbait existed before he started doing that for a reason.
Yeah.
And, because like it even happened with blogs,
Yeah,
like literal
clickbait
blogs.
titles for blogs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that came on and came to the world. But what I was getting at, like what I was saying is like, it even made me feel a little bit better about that stuff. I mean, and also people are just doing their job a lot of times, like when they're doing this stuff.
I just need to get people to click so I can get ad money and I can eat.
But even after this whole arc that I've gone through, I've watched less YouTube now than ever before.
You felt like you've gotten the pinnacle.
Because there's something that it's the same thing about me not watching Van Neistat, right? It's like I have a real problem with being so heavily influenced by things because I feel like this isn't a bad thing necessarily. And I just have a problem with it. Like, again, it's my own hang up. I don't think, people literally say great artists steal, right?
Yeah.
So like, and that's okay. And I look at your vlog and you're telling your story and it's still valid. And I could see a lot of influence from Casey, a lot. And it doesn't matter.
No,
you're just telling stories. It's literally like, what am I going to say? Like, oh, you edit this or you edit that or the SpongeBob thing. Like, look at it. It doesn't matter. Like, you're still telling an engaging story, and you're the only channel I literally watch every day. So, and it's not because you're my friend. Like even look again. Talk to Linus. Like, he actually he wouldn't watch it if he didn't like it. Like, he's just not that kind of person. He's like, if it wasn't something engaging and you're actually making engaging stories, and sometimes you're putting a fucking scrunchy towel under a faucet and it's fun. Like, you have a Mr. Rogers vibe, I said, So it's like, but what happened to me is like, I contracted. Like, I feel like I really do get nervous, like about like reading reviews of things and like, am I going to be able to really have my own thought process on this, really come to my own conclusions. I'm very worried about being primed by, I don't even like watching movie trailers, right? And like, but it's a kind of a different thing.
The new Batman trailer came out today.
Shut up.
That's all.
I didn't even know the movie was called The Batman until fucking The Verge today on a huge headline about the trailer coming out. And they described something in the trailer, but I did not even finish the end of the sentence. I just scrolled away. So it's like, but I have this thing where I really actively avoid that stuff because I do worry about how much I'm able to convey my own thoughts and to really, and a lot of times I notice, like, going back, like, I'll say the same things that a lot of these people are coming conclusions.
Yeah, you're reaching them. You get there.
But at the same time, and so like it is in some ways, it's actually self-affirming. Like, I feel like if I am able to kind of suss these things out about a product or about a situation in the world or whatever, like we've been talking about Dave Chappelle's fucking nightmare stuff situation like a lot, and like I actually kind of like came up with my own thesis of like what I thought was going on there, and then I go back and I'll study it. I've
been so busy. I want to watch it, but I want to watch it.
Well, I don't want to talk about
afterward. And again, I haven't read too much.
Yeah.
But as someone who has my best friend from grade school is trans, like I don't want to just jump right into it. I also want like it to cool off, and then I'll watch it. And then
well, just watch that top 10 list. Now he's back down to number 4. So you get the controversy bump.
Yeah, I don't want to give him the bump.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we'll have a lot. I look forward to it. We're not going to have it on this show, I promise. But I look forward to that discussion between me and you because it's always enlightening to think about it. And then, I think obviously you and I know where we stand about that in general. So it does along the lines of what you just said. About your friends, and you don't even need to have a friend, but it definitely helps you open your eyes a little bit, to what's going on. But, but what I was getting at is like, it is kind of self-affirming, like to know that like
you've done your own assessment, and then you go back and read other people's assessments.
And I'm like, oh, that guy, these people are coming, or to sound terrible, but it's not common that like there's like a new observation,
Sure.
right? And the problem and the reason for that is because new relative to what I've thought of, and it's not that I'm so smart or anything like that. It's that a lot of times these people are just they're either given, like for example, for a product review, they're given the beats literally by the company. You know, this is the stuff that we wanted to highlight, and they're just going down the list. And some people do it more smoothly than others, and so here's the problem. We reviewed the AirPods Max, right?
Yeah.
And I was really excited about that product. And one of the things that I think about when I think about reviews and long-term and longevity is like, no review is honest. And even if the intentions are truly honest, it by default, you cannot know the long-term outcome of these things.
Right. You might not know for 6 months.
Yeah, that your fucking AirPods won't connect or whatever. So it's like, I'm not saying the reviewers are dishonest. That's not what I'm saying. And there's plenty of great ones out there. Right. I'm particularly partial to Philip Bloom. I used to watch a lot of Gerald Undone. I haven't watched his channel in a while. A new lens came out that I jumped on, and I know I saw a trillion things come out at once because they did a huge push for this lens because it's a critical lens.
And the embargo lifted, and it was
everywhere on every website, even The Verge.
Launched.
Even The Verge had it, and it's like it's hitting mass media. That's how big this piece of glass is, and it's like, and I sold two lenses to buy it,
and
like,
it's how big Sony wants it to be.
Yeah. And it's for those that don't know, it's a 70-200. It's their Gen 2. It's their modern take. One of my biggest hangups with the old one is it's too slow. It was like long in the tooth.
This is so funny because I like the first round of Sony GM lenses was the 24-70 and the 70-200. Those
years ago.
You say that, but it still feels new to me.
Really?
It's still like, oh yeah, Sony started coming out with new f2.8 lenses because they had just had the f4 lenses for so long.
Do you want to hear something interesting? They actually had a version of that 70-200 for A mount, and not a lot of people know that, and it's extremely rare too.
And you had to get the A to F or E, A to E adapter. Yeah.
But yeah, like with that, like even I'm completely avoiding, like it's basically full media blackout. Credit Todd Vaziri, for that kind of stuff. And it's just,
you're not going to read anything until you get your hands on it.
Yeah. And then also just in terms of storytelling, like you are right. Like Casey didn't invent anything new.
He just applied it. He just applied like traditional storytelling ideas to the format of YouTube editing and the platform and what people watch.
Right.
The quick cuts. He doesn't always finish his sentences, or he starts a sentence in one space and then finishes it on the second half of a cut in another space. But the fundamentals of storytelling are there, but also the fundamentals of like fun YouTube format and editing are there. Yeah,
and then with the difference of also normalizing not just the thumbnails and the titles, but pointing the camera at yourself.
Yeah,
literally influencing camera manufacturers to change. I thought you were going to ask me all these technical camera questions.
Oh,
like I was like, oh yeah, he had like 18 80Ds, and then he got a 90D, didn't like it, he returned it, and then he went back to his 80D. But he also of course had fancier cameras, like the 5D and all that stuff, but he barely used them. He actually always used the 80D.
He left it in the 5D got left in the studio.
Yeah.
But the 80D launched so many YouTube channels.
Oh, totally.
With its autofocus and the flip screen. And,
they did so many things right. And I could see why so many people had and have an affinity for Canon. And then he started getting into Sony a little bit.
He had a GH4 and a GH5.
He did.
Each of them very briefly, like, I'm going to start doing 4K.
Autofocus was the biggest.
Never mind.
Autofocus was the biggest killer for those. And he also really liked the Sony stuff, but he didn't like they would not do a flippy screen.
Or now the screen is out, but it's not bright enough.
Yeah, as a deal breaker. And but this is still a phenomenal camera. Like I am on record for saying I fucking hate the screen they put on it. Not just because it's flippy. I find I don't like flippy screens. But for video, it makes more sense.
The same screen LCD for.
So stupid.
Yeah.
It's so stupid. It's like for all the things they're doing right, like that's just it seems like low hanging fruit. But he's literally the reason. And he was really into, him and his brother, the Leica, they literally painted, Van literally painted.
Yeah. Or he made his,
the red dot.
A GoPro. He put an RE Flex logo on a GoPro.
Yep. And oh man, they did so many things. Like when I look at the roots of YouTube and the roots of just so much of this language, I really felt like I took a crash course in understanding that. Like I felt like it was something that was really missing for me. I felt very in the dark. And like, I'm not saying I'm any smarter about it now, and there's all kinds of shit that are going on, like David Dobrik and fucking Mr. Beast, the crazy shit that he does, and David Dobrik being much worse. And Mr. Beast is actually kind of fine, but like I just don't like the videos at all. But it's
just not your vibe.
It's not my vibe. Like the early ones that I saw that you showed me were great. Like it was cool what he was doing, and I could see myself doing stuff like that too. But like I definitely can identify that. But I think what resonated with me mostly about Casey, and again, I'm going to compare myself to him, but like this isn't a qualitative thing. It's just about like we grew up in a very similar way, like a weirdly similar way.
Hearing his backstory.
Yeah, and I heard it 50,000 times now. Casey left his house same time I did, like right at 15 and a half, basically ran away, then knocked up his girlfriend. Had a kid when he was 16, and I think Owen was born when he was actually 17, but knocked her up when he was 16. And I'm using his terminology. He always says knocked up. And then his girlfriend left him while he had the kid. And that's how he ended up going to New York in 2000, just before September 11th in 2001. He lives with his brother, slept on a bunch of couches, all that kind of stuff. And just kind of,
I want to live in New York. Yeah. Hustle.
Yeah. And that's really what it was like. And literally I was, born in New York City. We were poor. My parents were, they were assholes. I guess is the best way to put it. Parents divorced when I was 6. My dad moved to the West Coast. I moved to Los Angeles when I was 6 and lived in Hollywood with my dad for a bit. Moved back to New York City when I was 11. My mom abandoned me when I was about 14 and change. I was adopted briefly, and then I was emancipated when I was right around 15 and a half. Moved back to Los Angeles.
Wow.
And then I lied to get my first real job at Guitar Center. I was actually a skater. Yeah. And had money from that, and then also from teaching lessons and like repairing skates and doing other things you definitely should not be doing. And it took me back to just living on my own, and like I lied to get my first job, about my age. And it was back then, so it wasn't really that bad.
Yeah. How much?
It was at Guitar Center.
Yeah.
It was at Guitar Center. I worked originally at the Hollywood location. This is where they had you do training, and then the Sherman Oaks location had just opened.
Awesome.
And there was very few stores at the time. I think there was maybe 5 or so. Yeah. That was $1 million. Now they're bankrupt. Damn. So there's probably less than that now. But yeah, it was interesting. Like I remember. I had a lot of cool memories from that. Like I remember one day, I'm standing at the counter. I worked in pro audio department because they had just brought in the DJ stuff. Yeah. And I was always messing with DJ stuff. I spent a lot of times in clubs and stuff as a teenager, which we can get into at some other point. And I remember watching this giant black man come in. He's Shaquille O'Neal, and one of my coworkers was standing facing away from where he was coming. And Shaq just puts his hand on the guy's head and covers his fingers literally covered down to his chin.
I love seeing it
was amazing.
Seeing Shaq with a bottle of water, like a 16.9 bottle of water.
It looks like a novelty miniature or just watching him pick up a tennis ball or something. It
looks like a golf ball.
Yeah, it's so bizarre. But he covered him, and the guy freaked out, and then he turns around and he just jumps out of his he freaks out that it's Shaq. And this is right at the right in the Lakers heyday with Shaq and Kobe and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
And so that was fun. And I remember
amazing.
I remember Stevie Wonder coming in and buying one of every keyboard in the keyboard department because he can't see. So he would buy every single one of them and then figure it out and then give away the ones that didn't resonate with him.
Amazing.
Literally resonate.
Yeah.
And that's how he did it. And he lives in Hancock Park to this day, I think. And so
amazing.
Little stories I remember Keanu Reeves coming in, and he what's funny? He was barefoot then too. And I know that's a meme now, but even way back then, 99, 98, he was barefoot. So it was cool. But then, so all this, name dropping stuff, but it was fun. Like those were good times, you know? But yeah, like everybody thought I was older and I wasn't. And then, just basically living on my own and hustling since then, and like literally trying to do creative things, and eventually getting into like putting myself through school, but just completely going down a different path than what I wanted to.
Sure.
Much more functional, even though I was much more driven by creativity.
Yeah.
Just, you know why I did a lot of it, honestly, is because I was able to survive on the student loans.
Yeah.
And they would, you know, help me pay my rent and stuff, you know, and it was just felt a little bit more secure.
Right.
You know, when you have but see, the thing is, and here's the thing about Casey, when that happens to you and you don't really have parents to bring you up, like I spent like less than like 8 years with my dad total in my life, and around the same with my mom. When you don't really have that influence, and you know, barring being very, very young, you craft your own kind of morality, you craft your own routines, you craft your own, and you kind of like take in the world from a lot of different places. And so I kind of think about that when it comes to like reviews and stuff like that, when it comes to information, you know, because I'm protecting the ability to craft my own morality and craft my own knowledge, even though I know realistically, like I'm still influenced by all the things that I've read and seen already. Yeah. And it's just a cycle of things. So even though I try not to, I know realistically
your life experience of other reviews.
Yeah.
There's a checklist of things you want to check. There's certain things you want to know about. Right. And that's because these other reviews have checked those things, even if it's a different thing that it's reviewing.
And I think you can tell from watching Casey's videos literally at a blitzkrieg pace that I still pay attention. Like I have a very high retention. Yeah. And you'll often mention things about your vlog, and I'll say, "Yeah, it was this," you know, because I literally pay attention.
Yeah.
And
I appreciate it.
And, well, it's not fuck. It's you know. It's not. There's. I don't know. I can't turn it off. So it could also be overwhelming. So like YouTube, we want to have a presence on YouTube. You know, you and I. Yeah. And I think that's important for us, but it's also not the end all be all to me relative to, like you said, like just storytelling. Mm-hmm. And whether there's an audience for it or not, I don't know. Hopefully. Yeah. I guess we'll find out.
We're giving it we're here. We're doing it. Unless you're listening to this on Overcast or something, but
we are literally doing it. And I like that.
Yeah. So yeah, this has been a ton of fun. Casey's videos have always been fun. He's only making videos here and there now that he lives in California with his family. It's, it's much different. And in fact, you know, he's posting on Twitter a lot more.
I actually unfollowed him because of that.
Really? I
followed him briefly.
He's doing like a travel thread. He did a travel thread of driving with Candice's dad across the country. He's doing one right now. Keeping a thread of him and Candice going on a small road trip for Candice's birthday. Mm-hmm. He posted a video, like it could have been a YouTube video, but it was just a single clip of him surfing. And he was just like, look at this barrel I ended up inside of.
Which has been a big challenge for him. Like, literally, you know, he could barely even do it on a perfect wave in Lemoore. Yeah. You know, it was really hard.
But it, rather than making a 5 to 10 minute video about it, it was just like, here's this clip. I did it. Moving on. Yeah. I sent you the video because you had a day where there were some ants right outside the garage studio here, and I was like, you need to watch Casey's video.
He was at the beach house, you know, fighting with ants. Yeah. And I had so many thoughts.
Oh, I'm sure you did.
No, not that way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then of course, and he had. If you watch the videos later, he actually goes back and follows up about. They literally wrote him. The company wrote him. How to deal with it. Yeah, and it was really funny. But I had that same situation. I've had a lot of the same situations as Casey actually. Funny, I tattooed "Keep Moving" on my arm, and like I didn't know that was a thing for that he did. He's got his "Do More." His says "Do More" famously, and he's got a shit ton of random tattoos, but they're all meaningful, and that's kind of what I do with tattoos too. So after I watched, I was like, I feel stupid now. Like it's like I don't really feel stupid. I don't care.
It's we're all doing our thing, and everything's a remix. So
everything's a remix.
We're all just kind of meeting.
But I have a lot of respect for that guy.
Yeah. When I was like, you know what? I think I want to do a daily vlog for the year 2021. A lot of it was like, and I don't know if it was in the how to vlog like Casey Neistat video, but I remember him talking about like, I work and I do my vlog and I wake up. He's more of like, I wake up early and I edit yesterday's vlog. I'm more of I want to stay up late and edit
kids, dude.
The day.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's just got to wake up early before the kids.
Yeah.
But I'm not a early, like I can force myself to wake up early, but I'm not preferably an early riser.
There are several vlogs that he had to either finish or start like hiding in the closet and whispering. So he didn't wake up the baby, or we didn't wake up Candice.
Yeah.
Really funny.
But his routine of like, I'm done at 5 or at 6, like when he said that, I was just like, oh yeah, I can find my thing of the day, talk about that, and then be done with it. And then I can edit it together and release it.
Right.
Like, I don't have to show me eating dinner every single day because I'm just going to eat leftovers half the time.
Right.
But
Dollar pizza, man.
I can try to find the one thing that makes that day special or is important and share that one thing and try to make a story about it and then wrap it up. And, you know, if it ends up, you know, if it's a day like today where I'm going location to location to location for 3 different productions, cool. But if it's just like, hey, today I have, you know, one thing I've got to make in the kitchen. Here, I want to show you how I make it. Here's how I made it. And that's it. But then the rest of my day is still a whole bunch of stuff. I guess the main challenge for me is, and maybe this is, Lauren's definitely shaking her head like, yes, you need to do less. But like, there are multiple things in a single day that are like cool that I want to share. Like, oh, I got my iPhone, but also I'm working on this production. Do I just talk about the iPhone? Do I share about the production? So that's tricky.
And you know, you're getting pressure from me too, right?
To do more?
Not to do more, but to keep it.
No.
Like not end it after the wedding.
The vlog, yeah.
Because, I mean, you know, Casey credits the vlog and doing it daily with his meteoric rise, like from 400,000 to 1 million in an instant, and then to 5 million. So it's like it happened way faster as a result. It's just that consistency really matters.
I've over doubled, but I'm kind of, and maybe it's because I'm not doing daily.
It is.
Yeah,
it is.
My subscriber number is plateauing a bit.
Yep, you're at 662, and it's a slower pace. The more you slow down, the more that.
Yeah,
and it sucks because it's not like
burnout,
like literally. You know, I saw Gerald Undone tweet about being burned out. Like I don't know what that was all about.
Oh, he made a whole video too. Well, it's
I haven't watched it.
That's one definitely worth watching.
Really? Oh, yeah, I really respect that dude. He's great.
Yeah, he's cool. It's not necessarily burnout. It's just like there's not enough hours in the day because I'm waking up and then working and vlogging, and I get home at like 10 and I'm like, I need to go to sleep or I'm not going to function. I guess it.
And you don't even have kids.
It isn't burnout, but it's just I'm preventing burnout because I need, or I not just burn out, but I will crash my car because I'm going to fall asleep going to my next thing. Right. So self-preservation. I need to get going, you know, on the next thing. My calendar is jam packed. It's wild. So I would love to kind of keep the pace, but after this year, I think we can wrap it up with this. I think I won't do daily 2022, but I think I could find some sort of regular schedule, whether it's like really kind of like the Vlog Brothers and do a Tuesday video and a Friday video or something that fits mine. But I could keep some sort of regimented schedule that's consistent and releases. And I find the 2 cool things of that week to talk about. I don't know, but that's what I've been thinking. What are your thoughts?
You're not gonna like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think 2 is way too few.
Yeah.
I do. It sucks because we have other plans.
Yeah,
too.
Our plans are going to require.
It actually might coincide well as long as we can fill in the gaps. Let's just say.
Yeah.
You know, to make sure that you have something going. And I mean, I think we've established, like, I don't know if I'm quite sidekick status, but maybe I'm
camera shyness. Brandon's the sidekick.
Is it camera shy? I just don't like it. Is it shyness?
That's
maybe it is shyness.
Camera dislikeness.
I hate it. I hate being in front of the camera. It's not even a fear. Like, I don't feel fear of it. I
really
just hate
look forward to the episode you've promised that we do.
Oh yeah. All right.
On drugs
we'll see.
And
we'll do it on drugs. Look, that'll be the episode. It'll be about drugs. On drugs. On drugs.
Pharmaceutical episode.
Our pharmaceutical episode. Yeah. On drugs. Yeah. I don't know. I think that it's very important to keep posting. Like, that's the most, at least if that's what you're looking to do with your life, like, and if it is, then, and we've discussed this, like, what are your goals with this? Like, what are your goals with the business and stuff? And I think we've really decided that, like, we are, media, little production company and all that. And
we'll do stuff for clients. That's fine.
We do it. But I think really what we want to do is this stuff.
Our own. Yeah.
Is our own. We want to make stories. And, watching you, I learn more. Even just doing, fucking shooting graduations, I always learn. I'm always learning, because it's not the stuff that I had been doing. I'm much more comfortable in the story side and the writing side and all that stuff. And
let's get your hands dirty.
That's what I love that. Like, I genuinely do love that.
Yeah.
And I literally will wade into the dirt to do it. So,
or
I think that's what it takes.
Or
into a river.
Yeah.
If that's what it takes.
But as the year concludes, we'll talk more about what I want to turn my YouTube channel into.
Right.
It probably won't be daily, but we'll figure out whether the frequency and what we'll call it, because the loose ends will be tied up.
Yeah.
I'm going to need a new name.
369. Yeah. I think we have really exciting things in the future. So I think it might fit in. Like, we'll see.
Yeah.
Don't stop vlogging.
Yeah.
Don't stop vlogging.
Okay.
You're in your element, man.
It's just the pace of not the vlog, but just my life has gotten really crazy. I wish I had the money. I could just hire an editor. All right, edit my vlog.
Yeah. Do Fiverr, man.
Yeah.
Fiverr it up and then just build a relationship.
Vlog editor on Fiverr.
Yeah. There's no fucking way I'm editing your vlogs, man.
It would take you 2 weeks. It would take you 2 weeks to edit one of my vlogs.
Yeah, it would.
You would pull your hair out, should I do this? Or should I, just do it. It's fine.
The cutting is fine. But then I'd get bogged down in some stupid minutia. And then,
exactly. Yeah.
Or I'd be really obsessed with finding perfect music. And
No. Just throw it together and go.
Yeah. No, it's good. That's why we complement each other well.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Yeah, and we'll keep doing it. So this has been Editor. This will be the ever-evolving editor.
Ever-evolving editor. Yeah, that's hard to say.
And we'll see you next week.
Peace.